What's up YouTube, Swifty here, and this is my first commentary on this channel. Even though I sound pretty pleasant, it's unfortunate that it comes under pretty negative terms, we'll say. Today I'm going to be diving into a topic that's been playing on my mind for a while. It's not going to be an easy video to make because, well, the state of the gaming industry in my eyes has honestly hit rock bottom as far as a gamer's morale is concerned. While developers seem to be just swimming in revenue, lying in their pockets, not really giving a shit about the consumer, that's a very tough pill to swallow for me. Developers have been pushing out half-finished games, bombarding us with DLCs, milking us dry with microtransactions and whatever other sneaky tricks they can use to milk the udders of the fucking consumer. The latest example of this frustration comes from Starbreeze Entertainment's Payday 3. Now most people are going to know what Payday 3 is, but from launch day, the early release days, you know, when you get a couple of days extra for pre-ordering it, and even the beta stages, the servers have been about as stable as a pensioner's bladder, which means most people can't even log in, play the game, and there's no offline mode, so you're gonna have to deal with that shit. It's infuriating when they have the audacity to brag about being the #1 game in Steam in terms of revenue. It's honestly disgusting that they've acknowledged the server issues, but it's all been sort of lip service. 2 days later, there's still no surefire fix. It was briefly resolved, well, now yesterday, the 22nd of September, but the problem quickly came back, quite frankly, and it doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. This level of incompetence it's utterly unacceptable, quite frankly, especially from a AAA developer team with the highest total revenue on Steam, as they proudly plaster that shit all over their Twitter. Only time will tell if they actually fix it. But this isn't an isolated incident in the gaming industry. Broken games are being thrown at us one after another, left, right and centre, and it seems we're just expected to deal with it. We need to remember that we as the players hold that power, and we decide whether to support these big developers or just let them crash and burn. This problem is especially apparent in, well, yearly releases, you know, the annual cards and shit like that, FIFA, that sort of stuff. They suffer most from this cycle. A year isn't anywhere near enough time to polish last year's game, let alone build one from scratch. They just copy and paste the same stuff from last year, slap on a new coat of paint and toss it out there with some new DLCs or, heaven forbid, old remastered ones for the new game and sell it on a nostalgia of past glories, you know, like COD. Microtransactions have left an undeniable, lasting and negative impact in the world of gaming as far as I'm concerned personally, and a lot of gamers feel the exact same way. These small in-game purchases, well, initially were, you know, supported by a lot of consumers because, you know, free-to-play games, you know, they need to support their fans and support this and so on and so forth. They've recently, well not recently, the last few years especially, made their way into full price titles for skins and cosmetics, so we ignored that, you know, it's a cosmetic, it's not going to make the game better. Then they adapted the play to win model, in a lot of cases. There's developers that don't, but admittedly the big ones seem to just flourish off this shit. Before long, they've become a hell of a lot worse. They're disrupting games and the balancing of games, enticing players with the promise of faster progression or better content in exchange for real money, which isn't fair to the consumer that's already bought the game and just wants to grind it out with his friends or by himself. As gamers, we really shouldn't stand for this. We should remind these developers that their games are worthless without our support. They answer to the gaming community, and in the end, we're the ones that pay their salaries and pay for their big offices and all the other shit. They answer to us, not the other way around. If we don't want to support something, we don't have to support it. It's essential for us to use our collective voice and tell these developers how we feel, which has been happening a lot on Twitter recently. On the Payday Twitter post, loads of people have been complaining about it, and they seem to be just not listening, but this is holding these companies accountable, which is what we need to be doing. Demanding better practices, transparency in communication, and commitment to delivering actually polished and finished games. By doing this, we can shape the industry for future and keep our favourite hobby enjoyable and fair for all gamers. But all I have to say to you, Starbreeze Entertainment, Payday 3 was highly anticipated upon Payday fans and hasn't delivered what it was supposed to, with calls for refunds and people even going as far to call the game an outright scam. Payday 3 is quickly looking like the greatest fucking heist in gaming history.